it's not shake your ass music,
right.
which is fine. But I've had people tell me like, oh yeah, I was studying for finals and I was listening to your record. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that is like you're shaking your brain tail feather on that one. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like, man, you don't, in this day and age especially, man, you don't need to just make ass-shaking music. Like, me and Raiden, that's sort of on the tip we're starting to be at, because, like, artistically, that's what we want to do.
Yeah, and I'd like to make, like, some kind of, like, fun song, but I just get such a kick out of, like, being, like kicking, like, whimsical nihilist type shit. You know what I mean? Like, and just being, like...
But also, like, in this day and age, there's literally just, maybe not quite as big, but there's still a massive market for that.
Yeah, and you know, I just gotta get out on the road more consistently. Like I'll do like one-off shows where I'll go and do like Lexington, Kentucky, or I just played the Bronx.
Which is crazy.
On Sunday, yeah, it was.
I've only been to Buffalo. I've never been to actual New York. New York City.
Yeah, no, God, it was like take me back, man. Like it was. Yeah, it's just. Like more to do and everything's on foot. Like when you want to do something here, you kind of got to drive like 20 minutes. 10, you know what I mean? But there it's like, nah, just take the subway, go to, you know what I mean? Like we were like running around everywhere, bro. It was just non-stop like motion and fun. Like it was a good time, man.
Like yeah, you were, man, the first time we met was in Athens.
Right.
And even though that wasn't the first time we met, that was the first time we ever like talked.
Right, and I remember like talking at Rehab Tavern too, but I can remember that little thing in Athens. That's so random. Like,
well, I think it was random, and I think that's kind of what stuck with us, is we were like, oh shit, you drive places too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, you gotta make the trips, bro. Like, I don't want to be the dude that's doing the same 5 venues in the same city every year.
Yeah.
Like that, the thought of that just depresses the shit out of me.
Well, that's a great way to not even get 5 venues if you keep doing that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, there are some venues that are cool with it or whatever, but there are some venues that, you know, they're looking for that next thing. They're looking for that other, you know, that other, I don't know, that new thing, that thing that's actually...
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll tell you this too, last Saturday I played in Columbus with a bunch of indie bands, and that was super fun. Like, that was such a nice change of pace to not be rapping for rappers. Like I love, like, and I said this before, but I'll say it again, like I'm not one that gets bogged down by my peers. I get inspired by them, but it's nice to, like, you know, this stuff at the end of the day is about having fans and getting fans and having them react to it. You know, you could rap for rappers all day, and that's great. And probably something that you shouldn't lose, but just doing, like, having like people that are there to be entertained, like having them engage and interact, like that's just a different kind of feeling. It's like I don't know, it's just a lot more fun. I don't know.
Well, like, you know, look, in the beginning, I think a lot of people just kind of want to play around and see if they can sound like the people they like listening to.
Oh yeah, that's super true. You know, like.
But like after a couple years, man, like.
I mean, yeah, like I like to make music I like to hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But like, I'm just saying, like after a couple years, you know, you gotta be doing something, man.
Right. Well, yeah, because it's like.
We've known each other I basically met you kind of right at the beginning, probably after about a year of me doing this shit. And
we're in different places than we were then.
Yeah. Like we're in different places in terms of like against ourselves. We're in different places in terms of like the worlds in hip hop that we're in and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But it's like you're still forging just as much of a path.
I do okay, you know. Like,
I think you do really fucking well considering how goddamn young you are, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I just turned 23. Happy belated birthday.
Wow, dude. Like, I'm 6 years older than you. Like, when I was a senior in high school, you were in the 6th, 7th grade?
What year were you a senior in high school?
2007?
Yeah, I was in 7th grade. I was 12.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's... I try not to get hung up on the age thing.
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah.
But it's like I've talked about it on like the last 8 podcasts, so it's obviously subconsciously bothering me. You know that I'm getting older
in the middle of the night. No.
Yeah, like I don't know, but the thing is, like I don't feel fucking older.
No, man, no, you can like. I think what's cool about our dynamic is like it's just enough of a gap to where we're like on the same shit, but like can still like be looking at like. I don't know, like if I take someone that's like, like 35, right? Mm-hmm. So that's a 6-year gap between you and a 6-year gap between us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's just cool to like that line of communication. Like I think you're in a place now where you can be like the mediator, even in ways where if I find someone that's 35, like I can chop it up. You know, like I can look someone in the face when I talk.
Well, yeah, that was. I mean, like that's how old. That's about how old Ness would be, and that's about how old P is.
Yeah, Bombay.
Bombay. Like, and so like, I always got along well with that sort of. I don't really want to say generation because we're all in the same generation, but you know what I mean, like that.
Well, there's more knowledge there. That's why I like it, because like I get to just be there and kind of like.
There's more knowledge, but on the flip side, there's a lot more negativity too.
Yeah. Well,
and I mean,
that. And there's plenty of dudes that have been like. Can tell you just about how great it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you get to a point where it's like you get sick of the same old song and dance, but you know that's the same thing. Like I'll put it like with your writtens, right? Like I love to do writtens, right? Because you know what's coming, right? Like and I love freestyling for the opposite reason. Is because you don't know what's coming, and you just, but my thing with writtens though is like, sure it might be the same words, but like I like to do variations of like I might like to change how I say it, like set to set, you know what I mean? Just to keep it interesting to me. And like if there's a crowd that does know one of the hooks or something and they're yelling it back at me, you know what I mean? Which is something that has happened, and now I reflect on that and I'll be like, maybe I should like...
It's fucking addicting, isn't it?
Make it like fresh form every time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like find a way to where I'm not doing it the same way, just to keep it like, so it's like almost a new song in a way, but still familiar. Like
I kind of stole this concept. Well, like I sort of did it on my own, but then I heard somebody articulate it in terms of just songwriting. Yeah. That it's like with hooks and things like that. I really try to apply it to the songs in South Los Angeles, but like that things are like in orbit.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like by the time you come back around to the next hook, you're in that same place, but it's still a little bit different every time.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's sort of familiar, you've been there before, but it's like, I tried to change up the chord. Like I love hooks that like have a central theme.
Yeah, I really like the one
but then they give you different.
Off of In and Out. I really like that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like things that like, it's either a good hook setup, you know, it's just like, sometimes, you know, those like, if you're doing this and this, that's the but. If you're doing this and this, but. But then like, you could take that same structure, you could write a whole song off that if you wanted to, but then to make, if you have 3 hooks in the song, to have a different thing in those setup lines every single time.
But then bring it back to... Yeah.
It's still familiar, but it's also still new, so it's keeping people engaged, but then again, there's nothing like that hook that you get right there.
Yeah, because
that's the appeal of a lot of trap and mumble rap and stuff like that.
Like if you do it the same way though, like my like I don't want a bunch of like dead-eyed zombies staring at me while I'm up there, you know what I mean? Like, and even if it isn't like, you know, something that you're gonna walk into like fucking, you know, like some like club or whatever here at playing, you know what I mean? Like you can still get people like hooting and hollering at the show, you know what I mean?
Yeah, look man, like fucking Nori used to perform in clubs.
Who did?
Like Nori, like, you know, like CNN and like all those old New York guys, like, yo, that music was banging in clubs. People had never heard it before.
But that's the
people had never heard it that hard before.
But that's the thing, like, you know, like Gangstar. Like Gangstar would be on at the party, but it'd still be like learning shit when you don't even realize you're learning shit. Like,
man, the Owners by Gangstar, that instrumental album, just the instrumentals, that was a big building block in me in learning how to rap.
On the drive to and from New York, I was throwing on podcasts, and I was listening to the Handsome Rambler, the Hannibal Buress podcast, and
I haven't heard that one yet.
he's got like this 2-hour interview with Premiere, and it's like
what?
straight gems. Like
That's fucking sweet.
There's so much like gold in that. Like, yeah, it's good.